understanding sexual harassment. In order for behavior to be considered sexual harassment, it must contain 3 elements. It is of a sexual nature, it is unwelcome, and it has detrimental consequences. There are 2 types of sexual harassment: quid pro quo and hostile environment. The name for the quid pro quo type of harassment is Latin for this for that. In essence, this type of harassment occurs when an employer says that she or he will give an employee this job, this promotion, this benefit for that sexual favor. Hostile environment harassment is much more difficult to pin down. It occurs when the harassing behavior creates a hostile, negative work environment for the employee. The U.S. Merit Systems Protection Board found that unwelcome behavior can fall into 7 categories: sexual teasing, remarks, jokes, or questions, deliberate touching, leaning over, cornering, or pinching, letters, email, telephone calls, or materials of a sexual nature, pressure for sexual favors, pressure for dates, sexual looks or gestures, and actual or attempted assault or rape. Let's look at some common misconceptions that raise questions about sexual harassment. The comments were directed at someone else. If you witness inappropriate comments, say your colleague commenting on how someone else might be in bed without that person present, you can still file a sexual harassment complaint. It only happened once. If it's unwelcome, of a sexual nature, and causes detrimental effects, then it's still harassment, whether it happened once or 20 times. It was just a compliment. It can still be harassment if it is unwelcome, of a sexual nature, and causes detrimental effects. It happened on a business trip, so it doesn't count. The key word here is business. If employees are on a business trip together, the same rules that apply in the office apply on the trip. She laughed at my joke. Doesn't that mean it was welcome? This often comes up in cases of sexual harassment, and communication is key. If a person tells an offensive joke, don't laugh, or worse, respond with one of your own. It's your responsibility to let people know where your line is. It's their responsibility to respect that line. Remember, too, that often people feel uncomfortable setting boundaries. In this example, employees may laugh at the joke because it was told by their supervisor, and they feel they're obligated to participate. Employees may also worry about being seen as a prude if they object. The truth is, if you're uncomfortable, someone else probably is too. This is the way I've grown up. You can't expect me to change. If you grew up in a family where nudity was the norm, would you expect your workplace to accommodate that as well? We've all learned some behaviors aren't appropriate in the workplace. Sexual harassment is all about sex, and sex didn't happen. All forms of harassment are about coercion and power. What differentiates various types of harassment is how the harasser attempts to exert his or her power. Obscene images, inappropriate touching, physical threats, or verbal abuse.